The name is Bond. James Bond.
Greetings, James Bond fans and community, wherever from you're listening to me. This is Zain Ibrahim here of the Zains007Fancast. Now, it's been pointing out that in our last podcast, which focused on watches, we missed out the Pulsar part from Live and Let Die. Now, as you know, I still find the film a great outing, and I had no idea that it would capture my memory till now. I still and will always enjoy the 1970s vibes of James Bond. So please join me as we once again rewind the clock and take a look at the history of Pulsar. It's 1973, a new James Bond is stepping onto the screen. Roger Moore, suave, cheeky, and a little bit different to the Sean Connery we'd grown up with and got used to. But it isn't just the actor who's changed. Bond himself has changed too. The world is moving on, and Bond as always has to keep up. And the very first signal of that change, it wasn't a line of dialogue, it wasn't a car, it wasn't a gadget from Q Branch, it was a watch. The Pulsar, the world's first digital wristwatch. In 1972, Hamilton Watch Company launched the Pulsar P1, a solid gold timepiece with no hands, no ticking, and no dial. Instead, you press the button and the glowing red LED numbers lit up to tell you the time. It was science fiction made real, expensive science fiction mind you, $2,100, more than a family car. Only the rich and celebrities could own one. Elvis Presley wore one, Jack Nicholson had one, even the American President Gerald Ford sported one. It was a badge of futuristic glamour. So when Roger Moore made his debut in Live and Let Die in 1973, what better way to mark him as a modern Bond than strapping the brand new Pulsar P2 on his wrist. There it is, right at the start of the film, stainless steel case, glowing red numbers, no trickery, no gadgetry, just the latest cutting-edge consumer tech. It was a simple, clever choice. It said, this is Bond. He's not stuck in the 60s, he's a man of 70s with the very latest toys. Now here's the thing, Bond's watches have always mirrored the era. The Connery years, Sean Connery wore a Rolex Submariner, a tough, functional dive watch. In the 60s, that was a symbol of rugged cool. The Submariner wasn't flashy, it was practical, the sort of thing a real spy might actually wear. Added to the brittling Thunderball. The brittling of Thunderball that saved the world from a nuclear disaster. The Moore years, Roger Moore started with the Pulsar, but he didn't stop there. In later films, he switched to Seiko's digital watches, including models with built-in message printers, TV screens, even a tracking device. Perfect for the world going mad for electronics and Japanese gadgetry. The Rolex did return now and again, but Moore's era was really about embracing the Chinese tech of the time. The Dalton and Brosnan years. Timothy Dalton briefly brought back the Rolex, a nod to Bond's roots, but when Pierce Brosnan arrived in the 90s, so did a new partnership, Omega. The Omega Seamaster, because his trademark reflecting a slicker globalized Bond. In GoldenEye, it's even doubled as laser cutter and grappling hook launcher. The Craig years, Daniel Craig remained stuck with Omega, but in a more rugged, understated style. His watches were mechanical once more, a symbol of endurance and craftsmanship, matching the grittier, more grounded Bond of the 21st century. And yet, out of all these watches, it's the Pulsar that stands out as the most daring experiment. Bond flirted with the digital future, then just as quickly moved on. But by the late 70s, Seiko and Casio were churning out cheap digital watches by the millions. The exclusivity of the Pulsar faded, Hamilton sold off the brand, and LED displays gave way to LCDs. But the image of Roger Moore glancing at the glowing red screen in Live and Let Die has never faded. Collectors still treasure those early Pulsars. The stainless steel P2, Bond's watch remains a prized piece of both horological and cinematic history, because it wasn't just a watch, it was a symbol, a signal that Bond would always move with the times. From Rolex to Seiko, Omega to Pulsar, Bond's watches tell us much about the world he lives in as the villains he fights. The 60s gave him rock dive watches, the 70s gave him digital fireworks, the 90s brought back sleek partnership, and today his timepieces are as tough and complex as the man himself. But the Pulsar, that was a moment when Bond wasn't just on time, he was ahead of it. I'm Zain Ibrahim at Zains007's Fancast. Please subscribe, like, share and comment, and as always remember, at Zains007 Fancast we do it better. Take care.